Holy cow, here we are at video 10 out of 10 for my simple business vlogging series. Everything that we've learned so far up to this point about formulating the content that we should be using through the equipment that we need, the studio setup, and how to edit is now coming down to exactly how we put that on the web and share it and optimize it. If you haven't watched those videos, probably a good idea to go back and do so now as part of this series. But let's go ahead and jump in. So what we're going to talk about today is how we take that video content from your computer or from your mobile device, from your camera, wherever it is, after you've edited it, and then put it up on the web in a way that's going to get us a lot of bang for our buck. I'm not trying to teach you how to do every single social network and optimize those right now, how to build engagement across the board. I'm going to keep those things pretty high level. But today I want to show you how we're going to get it up there and how we're going to then leverage it within our blog so that as many people as possible are seeing it. And we're not just getting that social media exposure, we're also getting the SEO value from having the content on our website. So to do this, we're going to need to jump into my screen share. So let's go over here now, and I'm going to walk you through the steps from a high level that I go through or that we go through to create this content on the web after we've edited. So here we go. The first thing I'm going to do is get into YouTube. Now, if you don't have a YouTube account set up for your brand already, you'll need to do that, and it's pretty easy. Just go into YouTube, and right up here in the right-hand corner is where it's going to have your profile listed. And once you go in here, you can create a new brand account that's going to be associated with your company. And then you can do a lot of optimizations just at the channel level. So we call this your YouTube channel. And here's where you can upload all of your videos, create playlists, and have interactions through comments and so on. Now, what I'm going to do is jump into the studio. So right here under my icon, I'm going to go into YouTube Studio, and this is where I get to see all the videos that we have and then upload new ones. Now, instead of starting with a brand new one where I'm going to have to upload and take the time to do that from scratch, I'm just going to pull up one of our other videos. So here we go. I'm going to pull up our business vlogging, the shooting videos piece. And you'll see that these are exactly the same fields we're going to be presented with when we upload a brand new video through the studio. So the first thing we'll do, of course, is upload the actual video file. Now, one important note on that, before you upload the file, make sure you give it a file name that has the title or the keywords that you're focusing on built into it. So a lot of times when you export a video, it might have a random set of characters or some very simple name. For this one, that is business vlogging shooting your videos, I might actually name that video file business slash or dash vlogging dash shooting dash videos .mp4. That way, YouTube's going to know even more about what the content of that video might be, and that's going to help you optimize. So do that before uploading your video. Next thing we need to do is put in a title and a description. Now, these are actually way more important than you may think. These things are going to be used to help Google and YouTube match your video to searches that people do through those platforms. So if I'm going to go search for shooting your videos for a business vlog, I want to make sure that I have some of those keywords in here. You can actually do some research to find the most optimized keywords for your content. And we do a lot of that here with various third-party systems. So where we can go in and see how much search volume there is around a certain key phrase, or we can see how much competition there is around a certain phrase, so that we can find those that have high volume search potential, but that have lower competition. That way we can rank better for those terms. Now, to keep things simple for what we're talking about today, let's assume you're going to put in a very accurate title, but we also want it to be very compelling. Instead of just saying shooting videos, we want to make sure that it's something that people might read when they're looking at a list of videos in YouTube and make them want to click. So be specific and be compelling. In the description, you'll see that we can do 5,000 characters of text. There's usually not a reason to leave any of that on the table, even though this particular one certainly does. You can use this to get as detailed as you want about what's in that video. And a lot of times we'll include links to third-party resources that we mention. Maybe we have links to products that we cover so that people can go directly to buy them. Take the time to write something that is very detailed, because this will be used as part of the optimization for your search within YouTube and Google. Now you might be thinking, hey, who on earth actually goes to YouTube and looks for content like my business vlog content? People just don't do that. People are maybe going to do a Google search. But if we look at something like this, let's say PPP, legal advice, how to apply, and then I search, you'll notice that the second tab at the top here is videos, and all sorts of videos related to that. And a lot of these are going to be pulled from YouTube. So think about that. You're not necessarily just relying on people to find you on YouTube. You're actually going to get found by people on Google searches. In other cases, and I'd have to experiment a little bit here, you'll notice that videos will come up at the top of the main search page, so I wouldn't even have to go to the videos tab. So it's very important that you optimize the videos on YouTube so that you can get as much of that search traffic as possible. So once you've decided what your video is about, we want to figure out what that primary keyword is and then get some additional suggestions so that we know what people are searching for and we can place those within the content of the description. A really good way to do that is to go over to Google and just type in your primary keyword. So over here, maybe I'm going to do business vlogging, and we can see the types of things that people are searching for because this autocomplete is based on existing search. Not a whole lot behind business vlogging here, so you could instead do PPP loans, and then we can see what people are searching for. So then we can include some of these things: forgiveness, process, news, and so on. And you can get more specific if you include all the letters. By the way, this is also hours of fun if you want to just type in random things. You can get some very random auto-completes. Okay, so as you build a lot of those keywords into your description, then you're going to enter that in here and complete the entire thing. Our next step down here will be to specify a thumbnail. Now, by default, it's going to pull up several frames from your video, and you can choose one of those to serve as the thumbnail, which means when your video shows up in search results or on the YouTube suggestions page, it's going to show that thumbnail with the title of your video, and that's what's going to make people click. Now, in some cases, these can get pretty interesting. In fact, I see one right here where I'm holding up the iPad camera, one where I'm getting some really good hand movements in here. Really, all these are fairly interesting. But in some cases, I like to put some additional elements on these. And so we designed those pretty heavily. If I jump over to the equivalent on our website real quick and pull up that blog article, we'll see the thumbnail that we've included in here, and you can actually see in more detail. So what we've done here is photoshopped this particular still from the video, and then we've got this white outline and a drop shadow, so added some dimension. And obviously we added a text overlay. So that stuff can all help people click. Actually, best practice seems to indicate that we want to minimize the amount of text overlay on there. And for this series, I've probably been a bit verbose. As a general rule, I wouldn't do that. If you want to create your thumbnails in Photoshop or another graphics application, you can actually just Google YouTube thumbnail size, and it'll give you the dimensions that are ideal so that you can do that. But keep in mind, the more compelling your thumbnail is, the more clicks you're going to get when it appears in search results and suggestions. Moving down the page, you'll see the next thing we have here is this video made for kids? 99% of you, the answer is going to be no. Make sure you check that because it does change the capabilities that you have with this particular video. And then at the very bottom is a very important place for our tags. So this is where we would want to use all relevant tags or keywords so that we can help match this with searches and related content. Put in as many as you want, and each time you do, it's going to create a new tag for you automatically. Just as a note, you can create a list of tags and just separate them by commas, and when you paste it in here, it's going to turn them each into individual tags. So that makes it very easy to create these tags ahead of time and share them later. Now, over on the right-hand side here, we can see, first of all, whether or not our video is public yet. So is this in draft mode? Is it private so that you can only access it by URL or by login? Or is it public so that everybody can already see it? And then if you have a playlist on your channel that you want to put this into, you can do that. We already have several different playlists on our channel, and one of those is for Business Growth Distilled. So I'm going to choose that one here and make sure that it appears in that playlist. Think of playlists as just a category of your vlog. So maybe one relates to a certain side of your business, maybe one's for current clients, maybe one's training. Whatever it is, you can create playlists to help organize those. You can also do end screen and card modifications on these. And end screens, if we pull that piece up, basically allows us to do those cool suggested content pieces that appear at the end of your video. And you can choose from various layouts. So we could say, you know what, recommend one playlist, or recommend one channel, recommend one video. So this makes it very easy to say, hey, once you watch this video, watch the next one in the series. So you can control all of those, as well as kind of dictating where those appear on the timeline of the video. Cards are something that allows you to do something very similar, so suggested links and messages that appear at different times throughout the video. So anytime you see somebody who says, hey, and to access that thing, just go right here. That's how those work. Those are the cards. If we jump over to our More Options tab, there are going to be some additional settings in here that we want to take a quick look at. So recording date, not terribly important. We tend to leave those alone. We leave license at the default. Category of education, because this is an educational video, I would hope. You can choose whatever's most applicable for yours. When it comes to the automatic subtitles or captions that YouTube will add to your videos, you can just specify a language, and then you need a caption certification. So for 99.9% of us, that's going to be, this content has never aired on television in the US. These captions are very easy and quick because YouTube automatically creates them, but they're only about 90% accurate. So you always have the option of uploading your own if you really want to, using this upload subtitles or captions piece. More on that in a second. Getting into comments and ratings, we can actually specify whether or not to allow comments for this video. As a general rule, you want to do that because the more people engage or interact with your video, the more it's going to be optimized for YouTube to share with other people for discovery. A few other things we can do: allow embedding of this video. We're going to want to have that one checked so that we can put it on our blog. We can also specify whether or not there's paid promotion, like a product placement or endorsement in here. That's kind of an important toggle for YouTube. And once we're happy with everything, we're going to click on that save button, and now our video is posted. If I switch back over to basic, you'll notice that right over here we have a bit of a preview, and I can copy that by clicking on the icon right here. That's important because now we're going to go back over to my blog, and I'm going to show you how we would create a new post so that we get the SEO value here. First thing I'm going to do in my blog system, this will almost certainly vary for you based on whatever content management system you use. I'm going to come in here and put in the post title. Now, I would imagine that 9 out of 10 times that's going to match whatever you used for the YouTube video title. For now, I'm just going to put example in here. And below this, we're going to want to do a description as a general rule. And once again, we could certainly use exactly the same description that we used on the YouTube video. So we could just paste that in there. Now, I also have the ability in this particular content management system to embed a video very easily. So I'm going to come in here and say insert video, and it's going to ask me for a URL or a link to that video. So I'm going to paste that from my clipboard. That's what I just got from the YouTube page. In this one, I would want to add my custom thumbnail again, just so that on my blog page, that's what it shows by default. I don't have it handy, so I'm going to skip that step. And then I'm going to click apply. So what do we have now? We have the start of a blog article for our website with an embedded YouTube video and then the text description. So we're on our way, but there are some important things we still want to do. Number one, transcription of that video content. We aren't going to get as much SEO value from this page if all we do is show people the video, even if it has the description on there. If it's a 15 or 20 minute video, that's a lot of content that's being verbalized, but we can get so much more SEO value out of it if we transcribe that content and then paste it in as text on our blog article. So this is where we really get a lot of bang for our buck. And the easiest way to do it is to go to a system like rev.com and sign up, and then you can create new orders where all you do is give them the URL for your YouTube video. They'll automatically go out there, and through one of two options, they're going to transcribe that video for you, and it's going to happen very quickly, sometimes less than a minute, usually less than 15, 20 minutes. The two main options that you're going to have available for transcriptions would be human transcribed and automatically transcribed. We've used both, and I can tell you that the automatic transcriptions tend to get the words correct, in almost all cases, but it doesn't really have the context. So there are things that you might want to have in quotes because you were referencing something somebody else said. It's not going to appear that way in the automatic transcription. Now, if you use the human transcribe, we find that it's almost flawless. It's really good, but it does cost about 5 times as much. If you have, let's say, 2,000 words that are going to be transcribed, for us, that tends to come out to about $3 if we're using the automatic transcription, and more like $13 if we're using the human transcription. So keep that in mind, especially if you're going to be posting on a daily basis. That's not a completely insignificant amount of money to be spending on a daily basis. The other option that you have with Rev is to say, create the captions for us. And now, if we're talking about having human-created captions for your video, those are going to be essentially flawless, and you can upload those to your YouTube video where we talked about a minute ago, and then you're going to have really good captions for all those people who are scrolling through videos and don't want to turn on sound because they don't have headphones, they're in a quiet place, whatever it is where they can't really use sound, they can still consume that content in a great way. Actually, more important than you might imagine. So once we get our transcriptions back from rev.com, we can download that text, open up the file, and it'll be a PDF or a Word document or a text document, depending on what you choose. And then we'll come in and we're going to paste that content in here as well. I'm not going to show you how to do that piece right now, but it should be easy enough to imagine. One more thing that I like to do, and you can build this in at the template level, is put your YouTube subscribe button in here. So if you just go over and Google YouTube subscribe button, it's going to take you to a page here, configure a button, where you can put in your YouTube ID, and it's going to generate a little button for you. And this is great because you can put it in your website in various places, but certainly in all of your blog articles, so that people can subscribe directly to your YouTube channel. The more followers or the more subscribers you have on YouTube and the more engagement you get from your videos, and of course one of those is kind of an effect of the other, the more YouTube is going to suggest your content. Show them that your stuff is popular and they're going to suggest it to more people. That's really powerful if you want to use these videos at least partially to get new business. So once we generate the code from that subscribe button, I could come in here, and in this particular system, I could just enter a code block, and that's where I'd paste in that code that the Google subscribe button page provides to me. And then it'll display that button right here on that blog article. The other things that we're going to want to do, even on our blog, would be tags and/or categories, and those are very similar in concept, except that we tend to have fewer categories than tags because categories can be very high level, tags can be very specific. And again, you can have virtually unlimited numbers of tags on here, so go nuts just to make sure that you end up with those nice, optimized, hyperlinked keywords across your blog. You can choose to turn comments on or off. We typically recommend turning those on. And in this system, there are additional things that we can configure, such as an excerpt, a thumbnail for the blog list, choosing the author, and so on. We can control the SEO for this page by specifying the title and the description. We do have the ability to do some additional social sharing preview controls so that when we put it on Facebook from this page, we know exactly how it's going to look, for example. And while we do have the ability in this system to say, hey, when I save this, automatically post it to my social accounts, we tend to not do that because we like to have more control over how we post on each individual one, using different excerpts or different text, maybe even different ways of linking or displaying that video. So once we're done with this, I can save and publish, and it'll push it live on our blog and on our website. What does that end up looking like? Let me pull up our website real quick, and I'm going to go into our blog. So now we can see as we scroll down that all of my vlog videos are featured here as blog articles. So this is where Google's going to come and index this page. Google is going to be able to access the RSS, or really simple syndication feed, for our blog and get all of this content so that it can see that we're constantly adding new, fresh content to the website. And they're going to be able to see all of that really cool optimized content that we've built in here. Another quick note on the transcriptions. Here's an example of one that we've already put into the blog. So a full version here. We actually have our description, same one we used on YouTube, at the top. Below that, we have the full video transcript, and this is where we've pasted everything in. Now, if you want to spend an additional 30 minutes or so per article, you could come through here and optimize even more. Number one, you could feel free to clean up any little issues that you might have in here, things that you didn't quite say right in the video. Nobody's going to do a comparison, and it wouldn't matter if they did, so feel free to tweak the language. But you can further optimize by ensuring that you install some headings in here. So heading 2, heading 3, that are keyword optimized based on your keyword research. The other thing that we're going to be able to do is hyperlink certain things, because that can really help. So where I have these shotgun mics, well, maybe I hyperlink that and send them to a related article in our blog or another page on our site. That type of hyperlinking can go a long way to further optimize this for search engines. Again, it comes down to the amount of time that you want to put into it, but simply getting this level of content out there, 2,000 to 3,000 words per day from a 15-minute video, is going to be huge for your website and for your SEO. Now, let's hit on some corollary concepts here. Number one, what we want to do is get as many people as possible to see this video. In most cases. Again, if you just want some training videos that you can share with your existing clients, I guess that's not really a concern for you. But you'll notice on our blog, we have that YouTube subscribe button over here. We also give people the ability to subscribe via email. And this is all automated. So they get in here and say whether they want daily, weekly, or monthly blog digests. And then our system, our CRM, is automatically going to shoot those emails out on a daily basis or on a weekly basis, so that people can get a list of our latest and greatest vlog videos. When they see those, they go back to our website. In some cases, they're going to be prompted to subscribe to YouTube again. They're certainly going to be able to consume the content. They're going to be able to engage with the content. So they can like each one of our videos, they can comment on the videos, and we're really trying to drive interactions at almost every level. People who find us on YouTube and watch the content there, great. They're going to be able to engage with the content on YouTube. But if they're on our website and that's what's most convenient for them, they can engage there too. There is a difference in the amount of value you can get based on where and how people engage, but you're going to have some limitations as to how much control you have over that. Here are a couple other examples of that. You may find that LinkedIn is going to be one of the best places for you to share your content, because that's where your audience is and people are spending time on LinkedIn, so it's very easy for them to just watch their feed and see your content. If I go to LinkedIn right now and I want to post my latest vlog video, I could come in here and say, all right, I'm going to start a post and it's going to be a video. So the first thing it does is say, all right, show me the video, and it's going to upload your video. Now, as I mentioned, at this time, 10 minutes is the maximum length. So that really kind of eliminates virtually every video I'm creating these days. I cannot upload them natively. So instead, what I'd need to do is come back over here and copy that YouTube URL. And when I come over here, I'm going to say start a post. Then I'm going to say check out my latest. And of course, I would do a very compelling message here. But for the sake of this, I'm just going to come down and paste in the link to the YouTube video. And then you're going to see that it's going to load a preview. So then I can post this, and it's actually going to be a video post where people can click to watch the YouTube video. So it's actually playing or streaming from YouTube versus streaming from LinkedIn. And as I mentioned, will LinkedIn like this kind of a post as much as it would like me natively uploading video content to their network? No. What does that really mean in terms of their algorithm? Well, no one's sure, but we can usually work under the assumption that it's going to be deprioritized to some degree. Nevertheless, it's better than nothing, so this is how I tend to post. Keep in mind also that you've got the concept in most scenarios of having a business LinkedIn page and your individual LinkedIn page. So where do you post it? Again, experiment with this, but what we do is try to share it from one account on LinkedIn and then have the other account share or engage with it. So maybe we're going to upload that video or share that video on our Distill Company LinkedIn page. And then I'll go in here under my personal account and I'm going to find that on the Distill page and I'm going to like it and I'm going to share it and maybe I'll comment on it. So what we do there is make sure that we don't have too much duplicate content with people who follow both me and Distill the company. And we also are able to increase our engagement numbers just by having my interactions with that content as well. Another important note is that LinkedIn is actually very tag-based as well. So if I want to come in here and post anything, I want to use those same tags that I used in YouTube. So I can come in here and click on, it'll automatically suggest some based on what you're putting in there already. So first use those that you know are very fitting for what you've got in here. And then you can go and look down here to see if there are any others that maybe you forgot. Now let's switch over to Facebook for a second. I'm not going to go through the process of posting to Facebook because number one, most people do that often enough that they kind of understand the process. Number two, it's very similar to what we're talking about for LinkedIn. One important distinction is that Facebook's way of suggesting content to people is much more limited in scope than other networks like YouTube or LinkedIn. So as a general rule, we're not going to be concerned with tagging when we upload our content to Facebook. We want our own networks to see it. And beyond that, people just don't search Facebook often enough for that to be a significant component related to your optimization. So let's say you get your content up on Facebook following essentially the same rules as what we talked about for LinkedIn. Let's jump over to another very popular video platform, and that's Instagram. Now, anybody who spent any time on Instagram already knows that we're very limited in the length of video we can use on Instagram as a general rule. So if you're creating a 10 or 15 or 20-minute video, you're not going to have a whole lot of luck getting that content into a post or into your Instagram story. But there is a bit of a hack / feature. Not a lot of people talk about this, but it's actually a fantastic option for this scenario. And it's called IGTV. So IGTV is a bit of a standalone offering that allows you to do longer form video content and then have a discovery component built into that. But it also lets you then share that on your story and your post for your profile. So that's very handy. So doing this through the desktop, you can see that if I go into IGTV, I have the ability to upload. So I will click on that, and then we can upload a video file. Here's an important distinction. Like a lot of social networks, Instagram tends to be very vertical aspect ratio optimized, meaning exactly what you see here, where people are going to look at it on their smartphones in vertical format. IGTV really helps you out in this regard because most of the content that we create for YouTube is actually going to be horizontal layout. So we can upload a video in horizontal layout for IGTV, and it's still going to work just fine because on Instagram, when people get that one, it's going to be sideways. When they're in IGTV, they simply turn their phone and now it displays in full screen. So it works a lot better than trying to do horizontal video in your Instagram story or on a post. So go ahead and drop your file in here, regardless of the aspect ratio. And note that you can put up a custom thumbnail for this as well, but totally different dimensions. We do want this one to be vertical aspect ratio. So you want to create that using Photoshop or whatever tool of your choice is easy for you. And then you're going to fill out the other content down here and you're going to post. Now, at the time of this video making, our limitations for IGTV videos are that it has to be 1 to 15 minutes long. So again, knocks out a lot of the stuff that I want to post, but there's still plenty within that window that you can post if you find that your audience spends a lot of time on Instagram, if you already have a significant following on Instagram, or if you feel like you can really get some good discovery on Instagram. Once you post this, you'll have the ability to share a preview in your story and as a post. So the story, of course, gets you that 24 hours of coverage to people who are following you in that story format. And then as a post means it's always going to be associated with your profile. So you've got that longer term content discovery and syndication that are just built into your profile. Kind of the best of all worlds, in my opinion. So let's review where we've come over the past 10 episodes within this series. Certainly, we talked about how to best produce these videos, and then we talked about how to edit the videos. But at the end of the day, we're still right back to where we started, which is the why. Why would we do any of this? The reason is very simple. You know that content is king. You know that you need to be sharing more content. And a lot of people are saying, do that on your website as blog articles because we need that for SEO value. And other people are saying, social media is so important. You've got to be putting fresh stuff out there on a regular basis, ideally daily. So how do we do both of these things without spending 5 hours a day working on it? This is what we do. We're creating about 15 to 20 minutes of video content every day, and I usually do that in less than 30 minutes. Then Aaron is usually going to edit these videos, and how long that takes varies a little bit, but again, the way that we produce these videos makes it relatively quick and easy. In fact, it takes us just as long to upload the video to YouTube because of network speeds and the file size as it does to do just about anything else related to it. And combine the rev.com automatic transcriptions in here, and it really does so much in terms of giving us content that we can produce once and use everywhere and really get all of the benefits from social media, from YouTube, from search, your website content, existing customers and clients, as well as being able to appeal and attract a brand new group of people. And at the end of the day, if that's not worth 30 to 60 minutes of your entire team's time on a daily basis, I'm not sure what is, because it really does generate results. So I hope that's helpful. Be sure to subscribe and then hit the notifications bell, because I'm going to be doing some follow-up stuff related to business vlogging in some upcoming episodes. I want to make sure you don't miss those. So I'll see you around. Definitely let me know in the comments if you have any additional questions, or reach out to us via our website. Happy vlogging.